My name is Eliza McClelland, and I'm a senior at Providence Day School. And next year, I'm going to be attending Smith College, a historically women's college in Western Massachusetts. And to be quite honest, I am terrified. My thoughts keep spiraling back to the same phrase, oh my God, what have I done? I'm going to be living far away from home. I'm leaving my family and friends behind. And what if I don't fit in? Whenever these thoughts invade my mind, I try to remind myself of the excitement I felt when I opened my acceptance letter back in December, or the years and years I have spent dreaming about college. I've also tried telling myself that change is inevitable and necessary. I've actually experienced a fair bit of change in my life. I've lived in 3 states. I started high school in the middle of the COVID pandemic, and I have changed my hobbies countless times. For the last 2 years, I have been part of the technical crew at my school theater. I didn't actually start doing that until my junior year, when an audition to be in a play did not go the way I wanted. I knew virtually nothing about building sets, and I really didn't know anyone who worked backstage. But I swallowed my pride and walked into the theater with a, "Hi, my name's Eliza, what can I do?" Those people are now some of my closest friends. Without change, I never would have met them, and I never would have gained the confidence in myself to say, yes. Yes, I can lift that heavy piece of wood. Yes, I will stand on that sketchy ladder. I hope college will be the same way. I will go in utterly terrified, knowing nothing, but I will say yes. Sorry. Because whether we want it to or not, change happens. When I was a little kid, I thought I'd go to university in England. I had a pixie cut and thought that long basketball shorts were the pinnacle of fashion. A lot has changed since then. For one thing, my hair's grown out. For another, I never wear basketball shorts. It's not like I woke up one morning deciding to be a different person. It just sort of happened. I think it's part of the human experience. Constant reinvention, constant little shifts in how we think or act. I believe that it's important to embrace those changes. I would not want to be stuck as my middle school self for all time. Who would, honestly? But in some ways, I haven't actually changed all that much. I've lived in stories for pretty much all of my life, and my nerdy love for fantasy has been the same for ages. Yes, I've grown, but inside of me, there's still a little girl excitedly yelling, "Dragons!" every time I sit down to read or write. I'm looking forward to meeting future Eliza. Maybe she'll look back at me now and cringe and say, "Oh God, I was so weird." Or maybe she'll smile and say, "What a fun kid I was." Either way, I'm accepting whatever comes. I might be scared for college, but I'm also really excited. I can't wait to have new experiences, discover new interests, and make new connections. Change is coming, so I'll say yes and go towards it with my head held high and a smile on my face. Thank you.
Perhaps it is only fitting that as the generation born at the dawn of the century, my peers and I are witnessing an increasing amount of change. This may sound like an exaggeration. Change isn't new. Change is an ever-moving, fundamental aspect of life. Times change, our minds change, the tides change. The world, to no one's surprise, changes. The difference in the change of today's world is not in its existence, but in its rapidity. The world of today is changing at a rate faster than we can even comprehend, and far faster than we can comfortably adapt. Despite being surrounded by record social, political, environmental, and technological change, it is often the personal change brought on by these external factors that is the hardest. We stand facing an increasingly changing economy, a rapidly changing, polarized political landscape, and the climate of a frighteningly changing planet. The scope of change being experienced by the world my generation has and will inherit is hard to ignore. The generational change we are experiencing because of it is even more stark. The first generation to be born into a world of widespread technology, we live in an ever-evolving social landscape, the effects of which have yet to even be discovered. In this swiftly spinning world, it's hard, nearly impossible, to keep up, especially without the support systems to stay grounded. Throughout high school, the youth group of Myers Park Baptist Church has been one such support system for me. Whether it was meeting online or outside during the whiplash-inducing social change that was the height of the global pandemic, annual beach retreats focused on identity and mental health in order to be better equipped to handle our own personal growth and changes, or even just our ritual of sharing good news at the beginning of youth block every week to celebrate positive change like college decisions, sports triumphs, or a good grade in each other's lives, we have been a constant for one another in a changing world. Having constants such as this means that change externally in the outer world, but also more particularly internally in our personal lives, becomes less uncertain. When change loses its uncertainty, it transforms into the exciting rather than the frightening, and reveals itself as an opportunity not just to change, but to be the change, something we are fond of here at Myers Park Baptist Church. Not only can we adapt to a changing world, but we can grow, and in doing so, affect change in the world ourselves. As the world shifts, we undergo a similar evolution, perfectly captured in this poem written by poet Tyler Howard. I've changed. From lying to being scared and shy, I've changed. Growing up and learning it's okay to cry, I've changed. Was a little girl, now I'm turning into a woman, I've changed. I learned to do my best and try as hard as I can, I've changed. All the pain and struggles I've had, I put it in the past, I've changed. I am not the same person that I used to be. I've changed, this author writes, and so have we.